You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
Thank you for tuning in to Blue Dog Radio. This is your host, The Wag. The left wing in America really has a deficit of ideas and a deficit of selling points. There was a time when they were strong, when they seemed an almost unstoppable force. I mean, we could go all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt, the first progressive president. He was actually a Republican, by the way, because in those days progressives were relatively bipartisan. Teddy Roosevelt was a very courageous leader. This is a man who gave a speech hours after taking a bullet to the chest. He was actually bleeding, and he said to the people that it takes more than a bullet to take down a bull moose. Then we fast forward on to Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He left a great legacy on our country. This is a man who got us through the Great Depression and then the largest war we have ever seen, the world has ever seen. Franklin Roosevelt battled polio throughout his entire presidency. He could barely stand on his own, but he didn't let the American people know that. He knew that we needed a strong leader, and he always appeared strong before us, and he always gave inspiring speeches, and of course the fireside chats to fill us with hope during those difficult times. That was progressivism at its best. Ike was probably the first major challenge because Truman was going too far on a lot of things, but Truman too was a very courageous and honest man. You have to respect him. You look at the progressives today, and they are just so far detached from their origins. And you look at the Occupy Wall Street. I mean, what a bunch of lazy bums. Can you honestly imagine Franklin Roosevelt out there on the streets, sleeping in tents going, "Hey, dude, I want a job and $15 an hour." And then they rape women in the night, and they leave their feces all over the streets. You know, they had to bring in hazmat people to clean that up. This is the progressive movement now. This is what's left of it. I mean, it's really a defect in their mindset. I mean, their whole mindset is that everything should be handed to them. So we shouldn't be surprised at how lazy and disorganized they are. Say what you will about the Tea Party, but at least they knew how to organize, and at least they knew how to get their message out. The Occupy Wall Street people were just pathetic, and what's left of the left wing is pathetic. They really only have two strong selling points left. One of them would be entitlements. We love our Social Security, we love our Medicare, we love our Medicaid. And these are things we generally have more faith in the left than the right to handle. With the right, they're always trying to privatize it, or they always seem to be up to something. So the left wing can still win elections on those issues. The other one would be the race card. A conservative can barely open his mouth. Even a conservative Democrat like myself, we can barely open our mouth without some lefty accusing us of racism. That race card, though, is slowly but surely losing its appeal. African Americans in particular are very sensitive about this topic, but more and more of them are waking up and saying, you know, I'm sick of being manipulated by these godless lefties. You know, I'm not going to just attack anytime someone points the finger at somebody and says racist. So the left is struggling to hold on to what's left of their power, and it's rapidly declining. Their last-ditch effort is to close ranks in the Democratic Party. I get emails from the Daily Kos, that's the left-wing thought police, and they say they want to get rid of all the blue dogs so that they can have good progressive Democrats. So let's get rid of the sensible blue dogs who can win in Republican states, the blue dogs who have good ideas for how to fix our budget, good ideas for how to put Americans to work, and save American jobs through sensible trade policy. Yeah, let's get rid of those blue dogs, and let's just put a bunch of progressives in there so that we can get the whole country on food stamps. Wonderful. Well, I don't think that's going to work too well nationwide. But here's the sad truth. It is working within the Democratic Party. And the more blue dogs I see sent to the doghouse, the more I can see that the Republican Party, as disgusting as it's become, could actually possibly win the next couple elections. And it's the fault of the lefties in the party. They have been dragging the Democratic Party down since the 60s and 70s. And so it continues. I hope that more Democrats will break with the sheep herd and run with the dog pack. Thank you for tuning in to Blue Dog Radio. This is the WAG signing off.